Hey everyone, it's Monday morning. That can only mean one thing. It's Monday morning on the mic with Mike here at Marietta Antique Mall. And first, I want to thank everyone for coming to my house last week. I think we had about 2,700 people come. And the next time you come to my house, I want you to bring me some donuts and help clean on your way out. But thanks for everybody. We had a lot of comments. I cannot believe we had that many views. My wife and I love having you come. So we left you in my basement. And I said, you know, it's my favorite room of the house. And I was going to show you this week how you can make your man cave. Now, here at Marietta Antique Mall, we call it not the man cave, but the MAM cave. It stands for Marietta Antique Mall, for if you're curious what MAM means here. So if you have a MAM cave at home, a bonus room, a pool house, or just a room that you want to make look cool, be the talk of your neighbors, and show off, I've got the guy here, my buddy Pete. Thanks for coming out this morning.
Thanks for having me, Michael.
Pete is the ultimate on MAM cave. So I'm going to let Pete show you what he has to offer to make your house look even better than mine. Pete, go ahead, show everybody what we got, buddy.
Thank you, Michael. First, I'd like to introduce you to my wife, Donna.
Hi.
All right, let's get started. I asked Blues Brothers if they'd come down today, and they said they would make an exquisite visit. I'm going to start out with this fresh hot popcorn nut machine, excuse me. It's a 1940s Challenger nut machine. These are one of the most highly desirable coin-op machines that coin-op collectors like to get. Next, I'm going to move on to this bicycle. This is a 1980s Coca-Cola promotional piece. It was put out by Coca-Cola when they introduced Mellow Yellow to get into competition with the Mountain Dew. Don and I try to cater to everybody, a little bit of everything. I go from the entry-level collectors all the way to the mid-level and the high-end level collectors. With that being said, this would be a high-level collector sign. This is an actual Atlanta sign. Aristocrat ice cream. It was being made in the 1950s. It's a double-sided porcelain, and in the bottom right-hand corner, it's dated of 1942.
And I'm going to jump in here real quick, Pete, because people, I want you to know that signs can be misleading. So all Pete's are the real deal. You can find some imitations and copies.
Reproductions, and they're getting real good at doing the reproductions now.
So I promise you that Pete stands behind his stuff, and these are all the real deals that he has in here. So I just want to make that clear, because you really have to watch that if you're looking for signs. All right?
I also keep some reproduction signs, the higher quality reproduction signs for the entry-level collectors that don't want to spend $1,200 and $1,500 on a sign. Another thing, I'd like to apologize. As you can see, my wall is empty. I had one hell of a weekend this weekend. I had signs hanging from the chain. That whole wall was covered with signs. So needless to say, Don and I are going to be getting on the road in about a week, and we're going to go out and hit the bushes. Come on into the man cave. This is an actual 1950s Firestone Cruiser Western Union messenger bike. I also have the Western Union bicycle rack that they would have put all the bicycles in. And I also have, over to our cameraman's right, would be the porcelain Western Union call box that they would send the messages to the messenger that they had to run and they had to go out on the road. Here's another piece. This is a Tokheim 1950s gas pump. The man that I purchased this from, it is all original with the exception of the back. When he got this pump, all he had was a shell to work with. All the guts were completely gone. We do a lot of repurposing in this business. As you can see, the gentleman didn't have the working guts for it, so he's put a TV into the pump, which actually works. You can hook a DVD up to it, play movies for the kids, things of that nature. Next, we're going to walk around and we're going to look at a 1950s slot machine, fully functional. I do have it inoperative right now because it is against the law in the state of Georgia to have gambling devices. It is fully functional. This machine actually sat just inside of Fitzgerald's Casino in Las Vegas, in Sin City, right next to the Leprechaun when you first walked in. That's their I can't think of the word I'm trying to say right now, but that's how you know it's Fitzgerald's with the Leprechaun. Next, I'd like to step over to this NASCAR tire. This is an actual scuff tire that was used by Kurt Busch. A scuff tire is when they go out, they get the tires hot, take it around a few laps, then they take the car off, and depending on the heat of the track is whether they'll be putting these tires back on or not. You normally do not find these tires with the rim. This one is complete with the rim, and I do have a letter of authenticity for it. As I said out in the front, I'm a very big fan of coin-op machines. This is a very rare magic vendor, probably from the 30s or 40s. It's a 1-cent peanut or gumball machine, and if you look close, it still has some of the gumballs in it from the 40s. This is a 1923 Masters gumball machine, and I do have all the keys for all of these machines that I'm showing you. Both of those machines are highly desirable in the coin-op world. This is a 1920s soda fountain, a very unusual piece. This is a 1920s soda fountain 3-head spigot. It's very Art Deco looking, and it comes with, which I thought was very unusual when I found this piece, this is a folding copper tray. Here's another coin-op machine. This is a late 40s razor blade machine, dispensing machine. We have pedal cars. This particular piece came out of the Ella J. Dairy Queen. It was the entrance and exit sign for the restaurant. Again, I'm very partial to neon signs. The reason I'm partial to the neon signs is because everybody's going to the LED or the micro lights. Neons are a dying breed, so I try to get every one that I can, and I try to get the unusual ones. This is probably one of my favorite pieces. This is what they call a sanitary icebox. It's porcelain outside, porcelain inside. It probably came out of a hospital or a doctor's office. It's amazing how clean this piece is. You can barely find the porcelain on porcelain. The oak outside with the porcelain insides are on every street corner. I just want to open this one door and let you see how clean this is, and it still has the original Better Housekeeping label inside of the door. We're going to go down to this other pedal car. I'm kind of partial to pedal cars now. This is a Ferrari pedal car that was put out by Spencer's Gifts. It's a reproduction of the early 1900s pedal car. It was put out by Spencer's Gifts back in the 80s. These particular cars are getting very, very hard to find. Another item I'd like to mention is this Star brand shoes. This is a double-sided lighted sign from the late 40s, early 50s. It has your original hangers on it, one here and one here. This particular sign would have hung outside of a store, in front of the store, to let you know these people sell shoes. And one more item in this booth I'd like to show you is a 1996 Atlanta Olympics Paralympic torch. The Paralympic torches are very hard to get your hands on. And I take a lot of pride in having that. Now I want to go down to what we call the Lady Cave. We try to cater to everybody, like I said earlier in the broadcast. So we're just going to walk down a real short distance and we're going to get you into this other cave, and then I'm going to turn it back over to Michael. This is the Lady Cave. Don and I are very partial to oak furniture. This is a very rare and unusual vertical oak showcase. It still has the manufacturer's label on it. Came out of Lansing, Michigan. The rails and the shelf holders are solid brass. This next piece I'd like to show you is a late 1800s ship foghorn. It is solid brass and it is fully functional. I want to polish this, but I'm going to let the person that buys it polish it because some people do not like to have things touched. Next, we're going to go around to an 1800s pegged single board blanket chest. These are getting really desirable. A lot of people are using these for TV stands. And a lot of these things that we're showing you are getting repurposed into other things than what they actually are. The coat to Nina's right is a reproduction Civil War coat. It's made by the Quartermaster Shop in Lake Huron, Michigan. This is the go-to store for all the guys that do the reenactments in the Civil War era. Next we're going to do a pair of cast iron fire dogs or andirons. These are actual Hessian soldiers. These are probably some of the rarest andirons you'll find, and I think they're kind of cool. And out of all the pieces that I love the most, it's got to be this cigar store Indian. He came out of Alabama. He's one solid piece of wood, all hand carved. The detail in his face, feathers, and outfit he's wearing is unbelievable. And if you look right here, he's holding a thing of cigars. And what they would do was put these out in front of the general stores, the country stores, to let the people know that they sold tobacco. Now, the one unusual thing about this is this gentleman, that the artist that made this, normally it's a solid log. This gentleman has split this log in half, and he has made two Indians, which is something you normally don't see. It normally sits on a whole log. And the last but not least, the final piece, is this beautiful bow front oak china cabinet. This is a South Georgia piece. It is all original, untouched, original glass, original key, original finish. And with that being said, guys, I'm glad you all stopped into our house. Don and I welcome you to come in at any time. If there's anything that you're looking for and you can't find, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to try and go find it for you. And again, thanks for stopping in. Past is present.
Hey, Pete, thanks for coming in today and taking your time, and your wife, Donna, for taking your time. And like Pete said, if you have any questions, you want to come in, take a look at some of his collectibles, you know, you will have a hard time anywhere in Georgia finding a collection quite like his. And saying that, we want to lead into next week. The weather's been great. I know we had a great weekend in the 70s. We kind of like to say spring has sprung here at Marietta Antique Mall. So next week, why don't we look at some of our spring stuff, some of our garden stuff, yard, art, different things that we'll showcase next week and get you ready to have that yard that'll be the envy of all your neighbors. So until next week, peace out.